Hello everyone, I'm Neil and welcome to another elite edition of Quirky Education. Zoom, zoom, zooms. Zoom, zoom, zooms.
Welcome to Quirky Education. Now to this guy.
So what is Zoom? So Zoom is a video conferencing platform which you can use on the PC, you can use on your mobile phone, you could even use it on your tablet. Since the lockdown, there's a lot of classes that have been taking place, which I've been delivering also in-house at home. There's conferences, meetings, webinars, even phone calls taking place through Zoom. Lockdown hasn't been fully lifted as of yet. For extra precaution, that means Zoom will still be carried out significantly. Some of you might be asking, what is Zoom? Well, Zoom is when you zoom into the camera like this. I want you to fasten your seatbelts, watch the video until the end, because you don't want to miss a thing.
Now let's dive in and use Zoom. So I've gone into Google and I typed in Zoom. You can also go in the search engine at the top and type in zoom.us. So type in Google search, you go in the main home page, and here we have it. This is the home page to Zoom. So what we'll do is press sign up for free. We love our free things, don't we? Now the biggest benefit of modern applications is that you can actually sign in with your Google account, so you won't have to waste time putting in all your details from scratch. Okay, so press sign in with Google, select my email address here, and here we have it. I've actually signed into Google. Okay, so now on the top right hand side we can schedule a meeting, join a meeting, or host a meeting. I will be hosting a meeting with the video on shortly. For now, let's give you an overview of how this page actually works. So this is your main profile, your main summary. Okay, so first of all, let's go into your plans and prices. Now anyone that joins Zoom, you automatically start with a free package, which is on the left hand side here, meaning you can have a maximum of 100 participants in the video conference. You can also have unlimited time in that conference, providing it is on a one-to-one basis. However, if there is more than 2 participants in that meeting, there will be a 40-minute time limit on that. With that 40-minute time limit, due to the COVID-19, that 40-minute time limit has been waived. Okay, so that's an announcement recently announced from Zoom. So that 40-minute time limit for the free package has been waived for the school purposes only. You can also pay for the packages. You have Pro, Business and Enterprise. Okay, so if you are a small to a large business, you are better off purchasing the package. They don't only consist of the package which the basic one consists of, but it also consists of extra elements as well. For example, reporting of attendance registers as precise as possible. Any file uploads, you can have a cloud recording of 1 gigabyte for an MP4. So there's loads of extras that you have there for the business side of things, but I'm going to focus more now on the free package, because we love our freebies, don't we? So if we go back, so this page is your overview of your Zoom account. Currently we are on upcoming meetings. So over here is a list of the meetings which I have scheduled for the future. So for example, tomorrow I have geometry lesson, okay, at 9 AM. You can also put multiple of lessons on this section, and it'll be easy for you to manage. Okay, if we click on previous meetings, this is a location where you have any previous meetings held. So you can go back into it and you can edit certain meetings, etc., and use it as a record. Okay, you also have personal meeting room. Okay, so this is where you can adjust your profile side of things in terms of your topic, where you're adding your calendar to, or who you'll be adding it to, your meeting ID and your URL, which I'll be talking about in a moment. If you're using Chrome, you'd have to download the Chrome extension, which is here. Also, if you're using Microsoft Outlook plugin, you download it here. To schedule a new meeting, you click on that, scroll down, you put the topic in. Okay, so the topic might be, I don't know, percentages. If you are a maths teacher, just get rid of that in. The description of percentages is optional when you'll be doing the lesson. You click on the date and the time, and you can alter that to however you please. The duration, how long the duration will be for. The time zone, make sure the time zone is located to where you are. You'll have a meeting ID and meeting password. It's better off that they generate a password for you, so you can just copy and paste it to the participants. This part here is video. It basically indicates whether if you want your video camera on or off for the host or participant. Okay, and it also tells you your meeting options to enable join before the host does, etc. Okay, and then you can press save according to the way you want to alter it. Then we go into profile. Okay, so this profile is very important because it is you essentially. This is my title, and this is what the participants will be seeing as you are the host. Now, this is your display picture. Okay, so I'll put my display picture here as my logo. Now, the reason why this is important to display is if you're camera shy like myself, you can choose not to be recorded via camera, but you can choose to display your picture. So this is your profile picture that you can choose to display. You can change it here, and if you want to edit your username, you can click this button here on the right side, which is edit. So over here you've got your personal meeting and with your ID and password. Over here you have your personal meeting ID, which consists of a URL. So what you essentially do is copy and paste it to the participant, and I will be showing you how to do that shortly. You've got your email address, and you also have a user type. So this one's going to be a basic type. So if you've had upgraded to the Pro, then it will show that here. Or if you upgraded to a higher package, it will indicate that here. It shows the capacity will be maximum 100 for the free package. The language, adjust the language however you please here, and make sure the time zone is the same as your location. So let's move on to settings. Now this settings is more the admin side of things. You can, as a host, alter that however you please. This part is more the admin side of things. You read through it, and you can press the toggle, highlight it blue if you want it to activate, and it will be set to default, so you won't have to go back and forth changing the settings. So let's go back on profile, and we go back on our main profile page. I think it's important to mention, guys, that you can also do recordings. So you can also record your meetings, conferences or classes, and the reason why it's important to do that is because some of the government funding organisations like the ESFA, which stand for Educational Skills Funding Agency, require you to record your classes, simply because it's just used as bulletproof evidence that there is lessons actually taking place, because you are doing it remotely, and that's the only way funding will be put forward. Okay. Next up, what we'll be doing is going to host a meeting. Now you get to see this pretty little thing. So essentially, once you click that, you just press launch meeting. You wait for the browser to activate, download, and then you can begin.
Now, what I'm going to do is join with computer audio, but you can test your speakers and your microphone before you do that, okay? But I'm just going to join with computer audio. That just gives the application permission, so we can use that, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is enter this as full screen. Voila, picture perfect. So what you can see here, guys, is literally what the viewers will be watching. It's literally what the guests or the participants will be seeing, okay? And it's basically it's connected with my webcam throughout my laptop, okay? And you can also use it, also Zoom on your mobile phones, and the camera on your mobile phones and tablets, etc. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is there's no meeting without participants. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? So we scroll down to the bottom here and we click on participants. Okay, we've clicked that, a little box has appeared. So what I'm going to do, move that to the right hand side and press invite. As I press invite, another box will come up. Now these three options here are at default. So you can either invite guests through default email, Gmail, or Yahoo Mail. You can also copy an invite link. So this is which I do, which is probably the most efficient way. Send a link to my guests and participants. Now this link, this URL link, is sent through to their it can be sent through their text message in their mobile phones, WhatsApp, Facebook, any of those platforms, and it's just a simple click. Don't forget the host, which is myself. I have to create an account, but the participants or the guests that are joining the meeting, they do not need an account. They just simply click on the link. Okay, just click on that. Just cross out of there. Once you have the guests in your meeting, guys, a whole list will come up of all those guests here on the right hand side. You could choose to mute them, unmute them, and even choose to turn off the camera if so. You can also choose to mute all of the guests. You might be teaching something quite important, just to prevent any distractions. You could just press the mute all button, okay? And there's a menu button here. So this button here is very important. So anyone that's joining the meeting that's making noise, you can mute them before they actually join. And that is even if they've forgotten to turn off their mic, you can click that button, okay? You can also allow participants to unmute themselves and to rename themselves, okay? So I'm just going to cross out of that. Another function which I want to show you guys is the chat box here on the bottom side. So this is like a little group chat which students will be using to communicate amongst themselves, or anyone else participating in the meeting, and you can also see that as well, okay? So one thing you can do, you can send a file, okay, from that. It could be any of the resources or materials relevant to the meeting, okay? You can also decide to talk to someone individually as opposed to talking to someone as a whole group, which is quite important as well. So if someone has a personal question, you can actually respond back to them privately as opposed to as a whole group. So just cross that one out. So the next one I'm going to do is go on to sharing my screen, okay? So this one is a really good function, okay? I can share part of my screen, I can share my full screen, okay? I can go in advanced as well, just share more audio or my camera, or I could also share them a file. So the file could be from my OneDrive, my Google Drive, and it could be even from my box as well. And the files you could be sending could be audio, it could be a video, it could be images, it could be teaching resources or material for the people on the other side to read. So I'm going to go back to basic, and here is one particular function which sets Zoom apart from the other platforms, okay? And that is called the whiteboard function. So I'm going to double click that one. So this whiteboard is a brilliant resource that has been introduced. You can click in text, you can insert text, you can include stamps, you can do spotlights. Okay, so I'll just show you briefly how it works. Yeah, so you can absolutely write whatever you want, okay, whatever color you want. Alright, and you can undo that, redo it, and you could even clear that as well. Okay, so you can even have, so clear all drawings, you can even have your own instructions. Okay, you can have your own instructions, and if you put that on the screen, we can get students or people participating as guests to give a thumbs up to acknowledge that they have read what they can see in the whiteboard. Okay, it's a very useful tool, guys. Make the most out of it. Okay, the best thing about it is free. There's no extra cost to this as well, so you've got nothing to lose. Okay, so there we are. This is the whiteboard feature. Another thing you can do, guys, you can save this. You can save this drawing or piece of text. So you just press the save button, and you can save it to whichever file that you or folder that you like. So anyone that's missed a conference or meeting, they can have a copy of this as well. Okay, so let's just cross out of that one. So the next one we're going to do is show the recording sign. So the recording sign, so I can see this more clearly, you can choose to record, or you can choose to pause, stop, etc. So you can see in the top left hand side, I'm recording this conference, I'm recording this meeting at this moment in time. So if you are teaching a lesson, okay, you can record that lesson and save it to somewhere appropriate in your desktop. Save it to your hard drive, save it to your memory card, your mobile phone, etc. It's saved as an MP4 file. You can transfer it to anyone that's actually missed the meeting, missed the class, etc. Just so that student or person hasn't missed out on anything. Okay, so it's a fantastic tool, that one is. So just cross out of that one, just stop recording there. Another thing you can do, guys, which I think is brilliant, is showing reactions, and that's something we all like to see. So there's only a couple we can see here, and that is a thumbs up. So you might explain something as a host, and you might want to ensure that the guests have understood, and by that you can make sure that the guests have actually put a thumbs up. Or if the guests or students have a question about anything, they can openly just put their hand up, so the host is aware of that, so they can also come back to it later on. This part here is where you can, on the bottom left hand side, and you can mute yourself, guys. Okay, and you can unmute there. You can stop the video if you like here, and you have video settings, and you can alter the settings based on however you desire. Okay, so I'll let you look through there. You can alter the speakers there, you can share your screen, and you can also set this as default. You can even put a virtual background in there, guys. This virtual background could be it's better if you put a green background, because that's how a green screening works. Okay, and it's virtual reality, and it's really modern as well, so give that a go, guys. Okay, just information about your recordings there. You can alter your editing in regards to that. You can check your statistics out, your keyboard shortcuts, and your accessibility. Alright, I believe that's the end of the tutorial, guys. I thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this tutorial. If you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to leave your comments below, and I'm grateful, I'm hopefully grateful that I can at least provide an atom's worth of education for you guys to learn. We just had a full-on tutorial on how Zoom works, and I do really feel, in my opinion, that Zoom is the best platform forward for video conferences, to socialise with your friends and family online, and even for classes to take place. There are loads of aspects from Zoom that we can do which we can't even really do in a classroom environment. So for example, when you're talking in the classroom and students are talking over you, yes, that all moment, with this Zoom application you can actually mute out the chatterboxes in the class, and that is fantastic and tool, because it really shows who the boss is, it really shows who the host is, and shows that you actually own that class as a host. The whiteboard, for example, you can demonstrate stories, titles, subheadings, instructions, which will be informative for the students and everyone else in the conference. Another thing which is very important you can do, you can actually record the whole meeting, you can record the conference, you can record the class. So for example, if there is an important conference that someone has missed out on, the host can record that conference, or they can send the file over to the ones who has not attended the conference to save them carrying out the whole conference again. In a classroom, a teacher's developed a fantastic lesson that's taken 40 minutes to do. Instead of them redoing the same lesson again, the tutor or the host can send them a recording of the class so they've not missed out on any work. It is a brilliant tool in my opinion. It is better than the WhatsApp call, it's better than the FaceTime call, it's better than Skype. Zoom is the way forward, guys. It is highly professional, okay? It is more classier, I'd say. The quality is absolutely amazing, and the elements that Zoom has, it sets it apart from other platforms. Okay, now I hope you have learned something today, guys. If you have any questions with regards to something which you're stuck on, please leave it in the comments below. What else do you feel Zoom can do to improve its service to you guys? So I thank you for watching the tutorial, guys. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comment below. Don't forget to press that white and red button, the subscribe button, and I want you to follow my next video. Okay, now it's time to zoom in and out.